What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know the gun's about to get it in. But before I get it in, brother, with this new Superwood, we need to watch this intro. Welcome back to Gunner's Collective Clips, right? And we're about to get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate all the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So are you ready for another Superwood, brother? What you gonna do when Wood Mania runs wild on you? Well, I'm gonna tell you what Mean Gene did. He lost more hair, he got spit on, and he got the fuck up out of there. Straight up, another Superwood. And I've been asked questions, right? And the question I was asked, brother, how did Roach come in contact with Hulkwood? Well, I'm gonna tell you how he came in contact with them. Here's the story, the way he told it to me. Here's what happened. Let's get it, right? So if you guys recall, I did a video on Hulkwood, how we went up to the Bay, man. We went and checked in with Hulkwood, and we burned Hulkwood, basically, right? We got the fuck up out of there. Now, I always wondered how Roach met Hulkwood. So later on down the line, because I was curious, just like everyone else, I asked him. And so he told me a crazy story. And this is how it went, brothers, right? Make sure you got your coffee, you buckle your seatbelt, and if you got a meth pipe, twirl it. Do your thing, allegedly. I'm not promoting it, I'm just saying, it'll keep you wide awake for this one. So one day I'm chilling at Roach's house, right? I'm right there, and I remember his mother was in the hospital. I remember, she was like, hey, you fucking Mexican, can you give me a ride? I was like, whoa, shit, never got into my vehicle prior to that, right? One time when Roach lost all his teeth, we all went to the fucking dentist. And I was like, I don't know if Roach would like that because, you know what I'm saying? I might fucking around and drop you off by the canal because she was mean, right? She was Karen with the capital K. She was like, he's going to meet us over there. He's making some rounds. I don't even know what I did. I remember that day. I pulled up, knocked on the door, right? Window was wide open. She came out the window like, I need to go, right? So I ended up taking her to the hospital. Come to find out, Roach pulls up. Brother, what's going on with my mother? I was like, I don't know. She fucking says her ass itches something, right? She was like, I got fucking hemorrhoids, right? So anyways, they admit her into the hospital. They're doing some fucking things. Roach is like, she must have bad hemorrhoids, brother, because they're leaving me the house all weekend. Let's fucking party. So as we're kicking it over there, all kinds of Featherwoods are in and out. We go pick Dwarfwood up in Sacramento. We're chilling, right? We get to start telling war stories. We get to start, once motherfuckers are getting high and drunk and doing all them types of things, motherfuckers start lying. Meth equals lies. Dudes are, brother, I remember one time when I robbed the bank, right? They're just bullshitting. Like, you ain't never robbed no bank, motherfucker. That's the movie Heat. Stop it, bro. No, they were shooting at us and why are you out then? Why aren't you doing life? Brother, I beat the case. You don't understand. I had Robert Shapiro. Yeah, okay. Sounds good. You can spell Shapiro, motherfucker. Right? Why didn't you have the black dude as your fucking lawyer? Brother, because I'm white and we don't do black dudes, but we did Shapiro and then, yeah, the Kardashian had a big, I'm good with the Kardashians too, right? So anyways, as these stories get told, I ask him, I'm like, hey, what's up with fucking Hulkwood, man? And he was like, brother, brother, let me tell you something. You know how I met that dude? I was like, no, how'd you meet him? He's like, brother, wasn't over a cold bowl of soup that didn't taste well. I'm going to tell you guys right now. And it wasn't over a fucked up bologna sandwich. Although, if you tear off the green part, it is pretty good. And am I right, Wood? Dwarfwood's like, yeah, you're fucking right, brother. Right? So they're all tweaked out. Anyways, here's the story. So I was like, this dude looks just, I tell Dwarfwood, that dude looked just like Hulk Hogan. He's like, nah, I call bullshit. I'm like, bro, the motherfucker had long, scraggly, fucking almost white, bleached blonde hair. Fool was bigger than Brock Lesnar. He was on swole. That motherfucker answered the door like, that's the name of the game, brother. Motherfucker answered the door with a badass Featherwood looking like Thunder Lips. I'm telling you, right? So he's like, look, brother, this is what happened. I literally thought he was Hulk Hogan. I thought the meth fucked my head up. Thought he was Hulk Hogan. Went up and asked for an autograph, and that started the most wildest fucking adventure I ever been on. Besides the one when we went up to the Bay Area that one time and the black dudes jumped us in Oakland. I was like, okay, yeah, I remember that one. So what happened, right? So this is what happened. This dude was on a run. Now, one thing about fucking Roach, sometimes you go knock at his door and his mom's like, he's not fucking here. My ass itches. Right? All right. Her ass always itches for some reason. I don't know, especially when there was brothers like walking by. she'd yell out the door, "Ma, Sanchez." I think she really wanted just to tire some of that black meat, but you know, that's just my opinion. Anyways, so he goes into the story like this. He's like, brother, one day I was on a mission. You know how it is, bro. When I go, I fucking go, brother, right? He's like, we were on some of that raid dope. Now, for those of you that don't know, raid dope was, I'm not going to tell you how to make it, but I'm going to tell you, man, it involved cans of raid, right? And they weren't fucking trying to fight the roaches. They were trying to inhale the roaches. So he was like, I was on some of that battery acid raid dope. And I was fucking spun out of my gills, bro. I was on a mission, brother, right? He's like, and so he ends up in Sacramento looking for Dwarfwood, right? Dwarfwood just happened to be fucking locked up at the time. So as he's in that trailer park, I guess he sees Hulkwood. And he goes, brother, I fucking swear to God, I thought he was Hulk Hogan. Like, brother, tell me. And I was like, hey, look, I'm a big avid wrestling fan my whole life. I used to be a little fucking Hulkamaniac, brother. What you gonna do, right? I used to be all that. So when I see Hulkwood for myself the first time, he was like a food stamp to $1. He was damn near, he was like the Temu version of Hulk Hogan, but closer than that. Like he could pass on the late night. You know what I'm saying? The way the light hit his face, the silhouette, bro, he was there. So he was like, you know what I'm saying? You fucking met him. So I'm like, yeah, now this is after we done burnt him and left, never went back. And Hulk was looking all over the forest, trying to scorch the earth and kill us. He was trying to give us the power driver, brother. And I wasn't going to get the leg drop. So anyways, he says, he sees him and he's like, hey, brother, are you Hulk Hogan? And dude's like, yeah, I'm Hulk Hogan, right? He plays the game on him. He's so spun out, he can't tell the difference. So he's like, hey, you want to take a ride with me? Now, I was like, I call bullshit. You're telling me this. And now he wasn't your typical Wood. You know, when you think Wood, you think Peckerwood, brother. You think no shower. You think fucking, you know what I'm saying? Dirty jeans. You think fucking biker parts. You think lawnmowers. You think methamphetamine. There's a lot of things you think when you think Wood. And you guys are all confused. This motherfucker was clean, fat ass, gold chains, big old Fu Manchu, fucking long hair with the bandana. I mean, he looked like the Hulkster. Clean ass truck. He had a big old monster. He was a Wood with money, brother. Right? That's what he was. So when Roach was like, yeah, he said, let's go on a mission. I was like, there's no fucking way he would pick you up. Bro, I want to leave you where I find you half the time. You know, I've put it like this. There's two things in life. In life, I never seen Roach do with my own two eyes. Never, right? One is put the pipe down. He ain't going to do it. He'll hold on to that motherfucker. Unless the cops are coming here, hold that, brother, right? He's not going to throw it out the window. I'm like, throw that shit out. Nope. Throw it up under my seat. He's fucking different. The second thing he's never, ever, ever done in my presence, I've never seen it, is take a shower. Never. I don't even know if that motherfucker knows what a shower is. So there is no possible way the grease and the oil that are dripping from his gums, he has no teeth, that motherfucker's going to let him in that nice monster truck. He's like, brother, for real. Gang. Right? So I'm like, all right, whatever. It's your story. Let's hear it. So he said, yeah, he picked me up, brother. We went straight up to the Bay Area and he needed muscle. So he used me as muscle. I said, he needed muscle. That motherfucker is 10 feet tall with biceps bigger than your back. What do you mean he needed muscle? Brother, you know what I mean? I'm the guy that'll go knock on the door and run back to the truck, right? So whatever. So I guess they go, well, there's these woods. They're a different type of wood. Now, they're not woods, okay? They're not plywood, nor are they redwood. They're somewhere in their middle, like stucco, right? And they have this, okay, you guys have seen fucking documentaries with the skinheads and they got these fucking big old facilities out there. They're all gated off. They're out there shooting guns, preparing for the revolution, right? It's those type of guys. And so what they're going to do is they're going to go out there and gather all these dudes up because there was some Southsiders that owed a lot of money to fucking Hulkwood and they refused to pay. They're like, no can do, ese. No can do, right? Now, these Southsiders were a very dangerous group. So in order for Hulkwood, brother, to go ahead, he needed to form the mega powers. So he needed Roach and the Randy Savages that these fucking dudes on this compound were. That's what it's called, a compound. So Roach says, we pull up to this compound, brother. He blindfolded me, wouldn't let me. I said, this is fucking turning into a fucking movie. Bro, let me guess. Denzel Washington popped up and said, Pelican Bay, motherfuckers. You know, I'm going to put cases on all you motherfuckers. He said, no. I don't think Denzel Washington, he didn't want to be here, brother. He didn't want to be here. So I start to believe Roach as the story goes on. They pull up to this compound and they pick up what I could only believe is probably the dirtiest woods alive. These guys, he said there was 3 of them. They were dirty. Look at when Roach, we're talking about Roach. No shower, no teeth, spun out, talking about other dudes are dirty. So you know these motherfuckers were greasy. You know these motherfuckers were lacking and in need of fucking bathing. These vatos, hey, if they would have came to my pad, I just started handing out Irish Spring soap. Oh, your white brother? Here's Dove, right? Straight up. They pick these guys up and they go out to the Southsiders, right? And I guess these were some heavy hitters. Now, Roach was like, bro, I can't tell you everything that transpired because for snitching purposes. I'm like, what? How you gonna do me like that, bro? I'm not saying that you're a rat, brother. I'm just saying there's a lot of rat activities around here. Ain't that right, Dwarfwood? Right? You're still suspect, bro, for your last time incarcerated. So I'm like, oh shit. So he goes on to tell that these guys all pull up on the Southerners, and he led me to believe that the Southsiders were just so scared of a whole bunch of dirty fucking white dudes that they just said, here, take our money. You could have it. No, that's not the way it went down, right? So he's like, brother, there's a moral to that story. But look, so anyways, this is what happens. We go back. We get the money. We somehow grasp it and grip it. And now we're going to go party at this compound. Now, I've been to a compound before with Roach. True stories, right? And if you've never been to a white-only compound, right? Let me tell you what Roach told me as we're pulling up. It was way out in the middle of fucking by Yosemite, right? He said like this. He said, listen here, brother. No, I'm not sober, but I got to act sober. I'm going to tell you right now, brother. You have to tell these guys you're a white man. I said, man, I'm not going to fucking lie to people and bullshit them. He's like, brother, we're going to kill you then. I said, well, then let's just fucking jam. Why the fuck are we coming up here for anyways? Brother, you know what's pussies over there? I said, I don't see nothing but a bunch of fat white dudes with swastikas. He was like, brother, just listen. There's featherwoods beyond your wildest dreams. There was. I'm not going to lie. Hey, white women are winning. White women were winning that night. I seen more Daisy Dukes than Dukes of Hazzard. The only word I could explain to you guys is fucking. I was flabbergasted, brother. So I'm like, all right, cool. So anyways, we ended up going and kicking it and partying, man. And they are as crazy as you've seen on the movie fucking American History X. They fucking got loud music. There's mosh pits. There's skinheads. There's woods. There's fucking illegitimate white kids running around. There's a lot of things going on that compound that I can't speak on, right? It doesn't matter if you indulge in meth or you don't. You're high. As soon as you walk in there, brother, right? So I'm not going to lie to him, told him I was a white man. And everything was good. I used whatever blood that I have, and I put my indigenous blood to the side just for a second or two, right? You know, hey, when a white woman is look I'm going to tell you guys about a white woman's mom on. It's different. No wonder homeboy's mom had hemorrhoids all the time. In case she was sitting on her shit, it was crazy, right? So anyways, I've enjoyed it. Well, I guess Roach went to the compound back with Hulk and all them. And Hulk is like a ghetto celebrity because he serves all these dudes. He's the connect, right? I tell you, when I met him, he took us to his house. He had steaks, nice ass fucking, probably one of the nicest pads I've ever been in. And his old lady, I give up every hat I own just for one taste, right? She was bad to the bone. So anyways, he's kicking it. This was his first day meeting Hulk. Now, he really doesn't know him. So this dude, Hulkwood, is different. He liked to test the soldiers around him. I guess he had this crew, these three white guys that went with him. These were his taitas. These were like his boys. So they start questioning Roach. They start trying to make him fumble. Now, one thing about Roach is he's a liar. Facts. You know, it's not that he means to, but the meth makes him. You know what I'm saying? We don't call him a meth monster. We call him a meth liar. Like, he'll be telling outlandish stories, and at the end, he'll tell you, it was all bullshit, brother. I'm like, what? You like how I did that? No, motherfucker, I just sat here for a half hour listening to some bullshit about you stabbing a dude and going in a public committee. Brother, I ain't never been to the Bay. Been to Corcoran, though, right? He's just, hey, you don't know where this motherfucker's been. So anyways, one time, brother, they asked me to join the fellas. I'm like, yeah? Well, what'd you do to join the fellas? Didn't do nothing, brother. I had the whole yard sewed up. I'm like, for reals? Yeah, brother, I was selling to everyone. I had the blacks, the browns, everything sewed up. Bro, you were selling to the black men and everything? I call bullshit. Yeah, it is bullshit. I'm lying, brother. What? Bro, we were just supposed to get a taco at the taco truck. Hey, brother, let's go to Burger King. All right, let's go to Burger King. I'm lying. Let's go get a taco. I like my old salsa. I'm like, just shut the fuck up already, bro. You're making me fucking like I'm seeing meth monsters all of a sudden. So anyways, he's kicking with this dude, and that dude starts to drill him. Like, where you been, what facilities you been. He wants to know if this dude's a narc. Now, remember, Roach is all spun out. So he knows, obviously, he's not a cop. But he's still tripping off Roach. He still wants to know. So Roach was, man, brother, you know, at that point, I wanted to be a black man. I didn't even want to be a white man no more. The things that they did to me. I was like, damn, did they you or what happened? You know, like, tell me, explain to me. You know, hey, I was like Coca Raider. Tell me everything. I want to know every detail, right? What happened, bro? And he was like, brother, you ever mud wrestled? I was like, no, I haven't mud wrestled. Brother, they threw me in the mud with a bunch of big old woods and had them jump on me, right? I was like, and those are your peoples? Yeah, brother. I'm not going to lie. I felt dirty. I was like, well, you could have been dirtier than when you jumped in that motherfucker. I'm going to tell you that right off the top. In fact, that shit might have fucking tore the fucking the grime off you. So anyways, I guess they were asking where he's been. And of course, because he's a liar, he started fucking telling stories. And he's like, yeah, I was over there in Corcoran at this time. And I was in Tehachapi at this time. And I was in San Quentin at this time. And he's talking about a facility where one of these woods was at the same time. So the wood's like, yeah, what year were you there? I was there in 94, brother. Right? He's like, yeah, I was there in 94. What yard? Oh, brother, I was in Z yard. He's like, Z yard? Yeah, brother, I was in Z yard. Yeah, that's where all the good brothers were. Where were you at? The real question here is, where the fuck were you, brother? Well, we were all on Z yard. He was like, ain't no fucking Z yard. Maybe it was C yard, but I just have a heavy accent, right? So they start figuring out that he's a liar. So dude does like, Hulkwood's like, wait up, bro. Brother, wait up. I don't fucking trust you, right? So that's when they threw him with the mud bath, had him fight all these dudes. Comes to find out, Roach just admits it. All right, brother, I do elaborate a little bit. I'm a white man. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Ain't that right, brothers? They're like, yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. He ends up becoming cool with them. That's how he met Hulkwood. Now, Hulkwood takes him home. Okay. Here's something that I've never told you about Roach's mom. Back in the days, not present, not today, and definitely fucking not tomorrow. But back in the day, she had a little cool out. She had a little rump shaker. She was actually a good-looking white woman, you know, besides her filthy fucking mouth. She was a good woman. And I remember the very one time I was in their pad and I was looking at pictures, I was like, damn, right? Well, I don't know, but I guess Hulkwood seen it in her, brother. So he pulls up to drop Roach off, and he's like, brother, I like older women, right? And Roach is like, oh, that's my mother and shit. Yeah. You want to meet her? Sure do, brother. Right? What do you know about his mom gets enraptured with Hulk? Now, we're talking about Hulkwood. One of the baddest white chicks I ever seen. He had in my life. And he's over there kicking it with Roach's mom. Brother, I'm going to make you a stepbrother, brother. Right? Hey, Roach is like, no, brother, just give me more meth. Right? So these guys, this is the type of shit that was going on in that household. This is how he met Hulkwood. Now, Hulk pulls him to the side as he's leaving. Damn, bro, I never had my shit sucked like that. Anyways, thank you. I appreciate you. Keep my phone in contact if you need anything. He becomes Roach's new connect for a while, right? Hey, and I'm not going to lie. His shit was outstanding. Like, it had everybody fucking doing cartwheels. So I tell Roach, if he was such a good friend, Roach is like, yeah, bro, I was fucking with him for years. He was just a good homie. I was like, all right, so why'd we burn him then? Because we were broke. You know, see, that's what white men do, brother. We don't usually burn people. But if we're broke, it's a I owe you whatever the fuck I can pay you, right? I'm like, all right, cool. So you're going to pay him one of these days? No, because I cannot pay him. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. And he's like, do you understand what he'll do to me if we go over there? I said, yeah, the way he tore that fucking steak, that tomahawk steak from the bone, I understand precisely what he'll do. That's why I will not be going with you. Brother, if I ever decide to pay him back, I'm just going to fucking send it FedEx, brother. That's just right off the top. And then I'm just going to put a little note in there and said, my mom said hi, right? So anyways, that's how Roach met Hulkwood. And like I said, I met him that one time. He was the spitting image of Terry Bollea. Looked just like Hulkster. I was like, fuck. I've never, because all my life when I was a little kid, go Hulk, go Hulk. I always wanted to beat Hulk Hogan. You know, you're a little kid watching wrestling. He was that man, right? Well, I met him. He had a little bit of meth in his system, but I met him. Okay. So when people tell me, why do you always do the Hulk voice for the Woods? Look, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck, right? There's Woods that'll tell you, brother, the fucking OGs do sound like Hulk Hogan, brother. They sound like Hulk Hogan with a mix of Macho Man, right? And a mix of fucking meth smoke, brother, right? But I always remember Hulkwood, man, because it just blew my mind. I'm telling you, I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't know Hulk so dope, right? And, you know, I knew he said the N-word, but I didn't know he so dope. Anyways, with that being said, man, I got a whole bunch of supers today. I hope you enjoyed this Superwood. I got another Superwood today. I got a Super Norteño. I got a Super Os in the back pocket. Nope, not that one, Diddy, right? I got a whole bunch of shit going down. So make sure you guys tap into the channel today. Tap into the channel tomorrow. I got other stuff going on Gunners Collective TV. Make sure you tap it over there. Thank you for all the support. I'm very humbled by it, man. We're going to get into it for reals, no shenanigans. And brother, what you going to do when you owe me money and I find you? I'm gonna blame it on Roach. Hey, bro, I gave Roach my half. Bang, bang. Roach is dead. What can he do? The IOU is I no more. Straight up. Rest in peace, my boy Roach. He was a nut.